streetwalker, jerk-off technician, and owner of her own New York City brothels and a clothing store called Jezebella. Currently, she's a writer of many short stories and is working on a novel about love, sex, and New York City. She's also the producer of a new reality show, Housewives of the East Village, which is in the works. Zoe is a lover of filth and the written word, and so am I. Likes to talk to the dead and strives for purity. She still resides in the East Village with her family. Please welcome LZ Hansen.
So typical and very classy. That's actually, is that the one I should speak out of, or should I? I'm a bit tall. Should I go over here? Is this one too? Perfect. I'm good. Hello, everyone.
Hi. Hello, Zoe. Hi.
I actually, just hearing a couple of my friends read, realized that I should actually cut a page out of what I was going to read, and you'd be happy to hear that it's not terribly long, so I won't keep you. I actually had my first sexual orgasm when I was a young teenager, around 14. I'd chosen a smart, handsome English public schoolboy as my boyfriend. He was tall, thin, with a mop of messy brown hair, and dark eyes that seemed to search my face on the torch. One cold London day after school let out, and we found ourselves under the covers in his bed, in his parents' palatial Notting Hill house, I must say. Excuse me. After a long, slow make-out session, but tender spit-swatting session, my young love reached into my underpants. I think they were the ones my mother had bought me, sensible kind of frugal learned things. I was a geek. But it's also kind of fetishy, so I still like to wear them. Chris gently touched my clitoris. Now, I've made out with a handful of young boys my age, more than 3, less than 6, or maybe more than 6, less than 10. I'd always found my teenage partners to be somewhat clumsy. Young boys look at life as a chemistry experiment. There's a brick. What happens if I throw it through that window? There's an anthill. What happens if I dig a hole and squirt Drano down it? Holes and putting things into holes seem to be a young boy's mission. But my young make-out session went something like this. Prod, 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 poke, 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 jab, poke, shove tongue down throat. Then the occasional jabbing of the grubby fingers into my vagina. Trying to imitate some porno I'm sure they'd seen in their dad's drawer. I expect a young teenager after some vaginal prodding to naively ask, "Baby, are you gonna come?" I'm sure we've all heard that one. It's not just the naive that have actually asked me this. I'll digress a bit. I was a whore and I worked in the sex business for 17 years and it taught me volumes. I actually did have a client who, get this, spat water on my vagina. When I jumped up in horror and anger at being splashed and spit on with water, and actually I was scared and surprised, having a mouthful of water spat on my vagina, I asked him, "What the fuck are you doing?" He said, "I'm cleaning you." Cleaning me? Oh, really? He then proceeded, this is true, to lick me once, twice, and asked me if I'd come yet. I said, "Baby, it takes me a little bit longer." It's a session I shan't forget, but I remember most of them, and being a whore for those many years, do the math, a lot of cock. But I do love men, and I continue to love men, and we were talking about that just in the back. Moving on. Back to teenage Chris. His hand had slipped into my Fruit of the Loom undies. They might have had a days of the week on them, whatever. Chris didn't jab his index finger into my vagina. He very gently tapped my clit. Well, was this, I asked myself. I certainly wasn't used to a young man creating such warmth in my lower regions. I usually went through the motions as some teenage boy hovered over me with calloused hands, Doritos breath, and sweaty balls. I actually found it far sexier to kiss and play with my best girlfriend. She was a beautiful blonde-haired, androgynous girl with extremely large breasts. We were 14 years old. After banging a hit of heroin, we often fell into each other's arms, kissing and nodding. But I must say, I did like the feel of her large round breasts and the smell of her white skin. It was the gentle softness that I had missed in my young male lovers. And here I was under the covers of my teenage boyfriend's bedroom, his parents clanging downstairs making tea. I did hear the kettle. And he began to rub my clit so gently, I actually, for the first time, felt my vagina react. I want more. By the way, I always want more. I tried to do the same for him, sliding my hand up and down his hard, youthful cock, as I'd done before. It's a lot easier to know how to turn a man on than us. We know the slightest tickle to the pickle, I'm right. Especially at 14 years old, when 98% of the day is thinking about how to wank off and stimulate a vagina. I've actually heard apple pie and donuts and all sorts of strange things. I'm turned on, but I've never had an orgasm. So I was going through the motions like I'd done the day before. I rub your cock, you poke me, swat spit, call it a day. I was always the boys who came, never us girls. But it was so damn easy for them. It was warm under the blanket and getting warmer. I still had my clothes on, for God's sake. So Kiss pressed me. I kissed him back. My lips tingled. My nipples hardened. As I pushed against his chest with his fingers on my vagina, suddenly I was shook. A flood, a wave of warmth and bliss curdled my blood. I was lifted into another world. My eyes closed and rolled back in my head as I came in a shocking surprise. I opened my eyes and saw splashes of light. What was that? What's just happened to me? Oh, I know. That was an orgasm. Wow, I felt incredible. I thought to myself, definitely more. I actually don't think Chris even knew he'd made me come, or he'd been my first. I hadn't even had intercourse yet. I was a virgin, and yet this skilled teen had aroused me to the highest degree. I wonder where Chris is now. Thank you very much.
So, thank you very much, Zoe. So we're learning something tonight. Let's see, masturbation is good for our self-esteem. And also, if you have to ask your